Welcome to another episode in the History of Science series, narrated stories that explore the great thinkers, discoveries, and moments that shaped our modern world. If you enjoyed listening how curiosity and reason changed history, be sure to subscribe and listen to another audio article in the series. In the mid-17th century, England was emerging from years of civil war, plague, and political turmoil. Yet amid the uncertainty, a quiet revolution was underway. Not of kings or armies, but of ideas. It was the dawn of what we now call the scientific revolution, and at its heart stood an institution that would forever change the pursuit of knowledge, the Royal Society of London for Improving Natural Knowledge. Founded officially in 1660, the Royal Society grew out of informal meetings of natural philosophers, men who studied the workings of nature with careful observation rather than theological speculation. They gathered at Oxford and later in London to share experiments, test new instruments, and debate the great questions of the age. Their motto, "Take nobody's word for it," captured the spirit of the new era, one in which truth was to be discovered by evidence, not authority. Among the great fellows of the society were some of the most remarkable thinkers of their time. Robert Boyle, often called the father of modern chemistry, demonstrated that air had weight and that gases obey mathematical laws. Robert Hooke, the Society's first curator of experiments, astonished his colleagues with his microscope observations of the hidden world within a drop of water. The young Christopher Wren, later the architect of St. Paul's Cathedral, presented papers on planetary motion, and presiding over their gatherings was the philosopher Henry Oldenburg, who became the Society's first secretary and launched Philosophical Transactions, the world's first scientific journal. Through this publication, discoveries could be communicated rapidly across Europe, allowing scientists to build upon one another's work, an innovation that remains the foundation of modern science. The Royal Society did more than gather great minds. It changed how knowledge was shared. In earlier times, scholars often guarded their discoveries as personal secrets or communicated them only to a select few. But the Society encouraged openness, experimentation, and replications. Its meetings were filled with demonstrations. Boyle's air pump, ingenious mechanical models that attempted to mimic the heavens, instruments like telescopes, barometers, and microscopes revealed worlds unseen. The Royal Society Hall became a theater of discovery, where the laws of nature were revealed not by authority, but by demonstration. By the 1680s, the Society had become the intellectual center of Europe. It was here that Edmond Halley, a young astronomer, shared his observations of southern stars and magnetic variations from the South Atlantic voyage. He was a fixture at the Society's meetings, a bridge between theoretical science and practical exploration. When Isaac Newton hesitated to publish his great work on motion and gravitation, it was Halley, acting in the spirit of the Society, who encouraged him, financed the printing, and ensured that the mathematical principles of natural philosophy saw the light of day. The Royal Society's influence reached far beyond England. Its model of open communications inspired similar academies in France, Italy, and Germany, spreading the method of experiment and observation across the continent. The Royal Society continues to this day, still headquartered in London, still guided by the same principle of knowledge that should be tested, shared, and expanded for the benefit of all. Its fellows have included names like Darwin, Faraday, Maxwell, and Hawking, a lineage that links the birth of modern science to the frontiers of today's research. The Society's founding marked a turning point in human history, the moment when curiosity became organized, when skepticism replaced superstition, and when science began to speak with a collective voice. Thank you for listening to this episode of The History of Science. If you enjoyed this story about the Royal Society and the dawn of modern science, check out the other audio articles, pioneers like Edmond Halley, Isaac Newton, and André-Marie Ampère. Subscribe to stay updated and continue exploring how the great minds of the past shaped the world that we live in today.